All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the show. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. I did. Starting up a little bit late tonight. We just came back from Jersey. 2 weeks of straight celebrating my birthday. So my birthday was going on. Oh no, already problems. Stream already dropped for a second there. Now, it's my fault for not doing a speed test before this thing started, maybe rebooting. But I'm having some audio issues tonight too. So if you guys hear anything, let me know. The sounds are pretty late in the background. Also, the sound coming from the music there sounded really weird too. So I mean, it seems like just in general, maybe I'm having it just on my end, but I know that the audio from my end is what you guys hear on the stream. So.
The chat says they can't hear you.
Oh, they can't hear you.
Yeah, they can't hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you now on the stream.
You can hear me?
I hear him, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just Thane being a jerk. Maybe Thane's just being a silly goose, But Thane, I do love you. All right, and Ranger is here. He's joking.
I saw you wrote Thane. Suck it, Thane. Suck it long, suck it hard.
Smoke 311. I will, yes, I can share that with you. Before we get into that, though, let me just go ahead and introduce the wonderful folks that are here with us tonight. We have a special guest as well. So, first and foremost, the handsome gentleman directly above me is good old Maurice. How you doing, friend?
Hello, everyone.
How is your weekend going, brother?
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Carolina didn't play, so they couldn't lose. So that was good news.
Okay.
Had some fun over on Twitch. Had some fun in game. Got a lot of stuff done. So, yeah, good weekend.
Good. Also, the lovely and beautiful Avinash. How you doing, Abby?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Excellent. Also, we have RangerJ1999. How you doing, Ranger?
I am awesome. I am glad to be here. And another productive day in the world of SWGOH. We fix Grande shit. That's all that matters.
Excellent. If you guys are having trouble hearing them in any way, let me know, and I'll try to pump up the volume or figure it out. I don't know. I may just have to reboot my system.
Everything is fine. I listened to the stream. You're fine. Continue on there, young man.
All right. And then special guest. First time on this show, anyway. We've got, although I've known him for a long time and actually in person, Sir Loki. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I kind of just crashed your stream.
You can crash my stream anytime.
I wanted to talk Mando, man, because the spoiler police are always out on the RSG stream, so I can't talk about it.
Well, you made that up. You just made that up, Loki. You pulled that right out. What the hell?
I did not make that up, and you know it's true.
No, that's not true.
That we have the spoiler police.
You're a very bad man. You're a very bad man.
Well,
I didn't say you were the spoiler police, but I'm just saying we have them in the chat all the time.
Frack it. Let's just talk about the Mando stuff tonight.
We can talk.
We're not going to talk about the raid stuff, but we have to get it all in because
I'll talk about whatever you want, Riemann. I'm here for you, man.
We can talk some Mando. I listen. I have no problem. I'll just put that in the description later. It's not a big deal. At the end of the day, I don't want anybody to feel like they're getting spoiled on. So we will do a spoiler warning before we dive into some conversation about the Mando. But I am not averse to talking about the Mando. I mean, honestly, that show is probably the best thing that's happened to Star Wars in the last 15 years. So it's fantastic. So it's a great thing. Mando died, DSP. That's just the one thing. That's the one thing.
That's a spoiler to me. I've seen the whole thing.
That is the one thing that I don't think that is going to happen on that show. I don't think so. I mean, maybe they'll have the balls to do that at the end. Maybe.
You don't know them. They'll do it. You don't know.
Yeah, but I doubt it. I think if they're gonna build up this character, they're gonna give him a future in the show. I think. In other mediums. They always like to leave the door open for possible future sequels or movies, things like that. Like we're actually going to discuss here momentarily too, because there was a panel about future Star Wars content the other day with Kathleen Kennedy, and there was a lot of exciting things to discuss there. So we'll get into that.
Let's start with let's start with SWGOH stuff though.
So first, I want to do the SWGOH stuff. So new raid.
Raid.
Talk about raid. So let's talk a little bit about the new Rancor raid and the pit challenge. The pit challenge, the Rancor Unleashed. What are your guys' initial thoughts? I dove in and I got my ass kicked immediately. I mean, it was like this Rancor is not fucking around at all. Okay, this guy is playing serious. He's playing for keeps, guys. He's playing for keeps. This man, he's straight up just ate one of my characters. You know what I mean? Just like didn't even get a turn.
That's why you have to send Rose Tico in first, so she gets eaten, and then you can go and kick some ass.
Yeah. So
you have to sacrifice someone. I say it's Rose Tico.
Oh, actually,
seconds on that.
Martha.
So what are your guys?
No, I like it more.
I mean, so you also, the characters have to also be, they have to be relicked, right?
Is that your raid right now that we're seeing on the screen? So you guys are at 50% in phase 2 right now, roughly.
Yes.
Oh, you got
man.
For a real
good
doozy.
luck, man.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Man. Yeah, good luck with that.
But I mean, that's something us in the guild, my guild, we personally learned. Like, you can't just go in there like a boss. Like, you really have to coordinate attacks and almost like zerg it down, right? Because like the Rancor gets boosted stats like every percentage, like he's lower, so he just starts hitting you and eat you. And
he has that a pit fighter too, right? He's got that ability that every time you knock 20% off of him, the dude gets a crap load of speed and physical damage, and he gets crappier.
And your damage gets less.
Yeah, and your GLs are reduced like 3 times
to 0.
It sucks.
Yeah, in another guild that I'm in, they went in free for all, and by the time I got in there, it was in phase 1 at 16%. I am telling you right now that none of my GLs did any damage.
Oh no, they don't.
They did nothing.
I got that on phase 4 because my guild cleared it, and I got to phase 4 yesterday night. And we had like, I think 11% left. So I had 2 GLs. I hadn't used one. I'd used Kylo. I hadn't used Bray and Luke. So I went in there like, never fear, Ranger's here. And then I went in there, I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Well, I was like, all right, let's see. I got 9 teams, 10 teams. If I do 0.5% on each one, oh no.
Yeah, it's great. Well, in my guild, we launched it a day later than most people because and some people in my guild like we wasted 30,000 tickets, and I'm like, look, we're gonna get screwed up if we wait to watch everybody else screw up and then learn from their mistake, and that's exactly what we did. We took it. We did phase 1 and 2. And on one day and 3 and 4 the next day because I was so stressed out that it was like, look, I need a break, even though it really didn't take us any time to do it once we got in there. But still, I don't know what the mechanics were going to do to us. And I didn't know if somebody was going to really screw up. But we ended up, I think total, if we take out all the breaks that we had, took us about 2.5 hours at the most.
It's a lot of coordinating, and so this is a raid where your officers have to be on top of it, and you basically what you have to do is you have to coordinate each phase with the Galactic Legends you have, and what you do is with the teams that are designated, everybody attacks at once and holds, right, and then you wait for the word to go ahead and post damage, because as Gon brought up, every 20%. It gets a little harder.
Yeah.
It's extremely. No, I know, Loki, your guild beat it. I know mine did. Dom, what about you guys? Did you guys take it down?
I actually didn't get a chance to attack P4, so I don't really know what that's all about. But I imagine it's just
it's awful,
pure insanity.
It was. Our goal was like 3%. Our goal was, to get 3%, and then we had everybody holding, and then I had 3 accounts on the screen at the same time, all of them in airplane mode. So it was like if I screwed up, I could not back out. So, and all I did was hold.
Yeah.
So my scores were all kind of crappy in terms of ranking because I kind of designated myself as the filler. You know, if we needed 8%, if we needed 6%, if we needed 7%, then I had those locked in and ready to dump if we needed it, which we didn't. So I was able to back out every single phase. And I just, at the end of it, definitely, you know, was able to let go, but I only got like 1 million or so damage on the 3 of them because by then everybody just posted whatever they could. And surprisingly, we took down phase 4 fairly quickly. It was just kept going down and down. We're at 11%, 16%, 11%. We're at 8%. We're at 6%. And everybody started screaming because we're all in voice chat. We're like, oh my God, we're dead. Yay!
Yeah, it was like that with us last night too. Everybody was hooting and hollering. Although I must say, Ahsoka Meow Meow in the chat, oh, she set me up. She was like, you know, we need to send someone and test this team. Ranger, I'm like, yes, go in there and use your Kylo Ren. I'm like, right. And I was like, all right, I'll just go in here with Kylo Ren. Okay, let me see here. The Rancor phase 2, see here. And wait a minute. Did he just eat one of my tunes? Oh no, I've been set up by Meow Meow. Meow Meow set me up.
Yeah, phase 2, we set Rose to go in.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, Meow Meow likes to use me as a guinea pig.
Yeah, and then phase 3, we sent in Mon Mothma because she retreats right away, and then you can use her again.
So just quickly before we continue on this conversation here, I just want to talk about a couple people in the chat here. So hello to Thane, Shy Bears, Smoke 311, Mike Yanch, DSP, Daniel. Sorry, DJ.
That's Dada.
That's Dada Jordan. What's going on, Dada? Asuka, what's going on? Dada, man, I miss you, man. Ray Rock, what's up? Got Finity out there. Finity's jump. Been trying to get Finity in Discord.
No, he's not.
It's not going to work. I tried.
He's in bed. Yeah, he's getting ready for sleepy time.
Manny Chevelle, what's up? So just quickly to dive into the question that was asked, and yes, so I over the course of the last about a year and a half, I've lost 175 pounds. So just basically hiking and doing a lot of diet changes. You know, I stopped drinking lots of coffee. I stopped drinking soda, iced tea. Just drink a lot more water. I started walking 5 miles a day, and I changed from eating, you know, fast foods and unhealthy foods, and just started eating more homemade foods and bringing my own lunches and counting calories and being a lot more careful about the things that I eat. I quit smoking. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I quit smoking 3 years ago. And I switched to vaping, and then I weaned off of the nicotine with vaping until I didn't need to vape anymore either. And so it was just a combination of like just changing a whole bunch of different parts about my lifestyle, you know, because I wanted to be healthier. You know, I really didn't take good care of my body in my 20s into my 30s, you know, because I was, you know, I was really more health conscious when I was a teenager because I used to play a lot of sports. And then eventually I started, you know, partying and drinking and doing different things. And that led to smoking cigarettes and eating unhealthy. And then I stopped doing a lot of the things that kept me in good shape when I was younger, like exercising, playing basketball, things like that. So because of that, you know, obviously having a son, a 7-year-old kid, he's getting to that age now where he's starting to want to play sports and, you know, be on a baseball team, a basketball team, a football team. And, you know, I kind of felt like, you know, it's around that age where I want to be able to take him to Disneyland and take him on hikes and take him camping. And I want to be able to show him how to play basketball myself by being able to actually do the things that I'm talking about and not just tell him what to do. And you know, I wanted to kind of take control of my life and do things differently. And you know, obviously I'm a single dad again now, so I wanted to be able to find a new Mrs. Right, a new Mrs. Azab, you know, for a future, maybe to have more kids. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I had to make a change because I was definitely not living healthy. I was breathing really badly. I didn't have any like things specific that a doctor told me that was like, you know, that made me have to do it. But I didn't follow any like specific diets. I didn't like use any systems. I didn't do Weight Watchers or anything like that. I didn't do keto. I just counted the calories that I was eating as much as I could, not like with an exact science, just like to like, you know, within 100 calories or so. And then I just made sure that I way over exceeded that by burning calories in a day. So I would definitely make sure that I would walk and burn at least 1,000 calories in activity a day, besides the automatic 2,000 calories that your body burns just from living, right? So, I mean, so I just wanted to make sure that I was definitely a lot more active. I tried to eat under 1,500 calories a day. And during the quarantine, I was basically just walking with a basketball, listening to audible books on my headphones, and just walking sometimes 8, 9, 10 miles a night, talking to people on my phone, listening to books, and practicing my dribble while I walked. And sometimes after an hour or two of just talking to people on my phone, my friends, or listening to a book, you don't really even feel it, you know, because you're just walking. Because I had the misconception that you had to like actually sprint and sweat to get in shape and to lose weight, but that's not the case. You can do it gently until your body is ready to do more advanced aerobics or do more advanced exercise. So, I mean, I didn't want to take a chance of hurting myself when I was 150 pounds heavier than I am now, and doing some heavy running or anything like that, tearing an ACL or hurt myself real bad. So I wanted to ease into it. And now I'm able to play like, you know, full court basketball games again. I can run, I can sprint, I walk, you know, without any issues. I have no problem walking 10 miles, 15 miles if I have to. Obviously I'll get a little tired, of course, but that's something I could not do 2 years ago. And now I feel like I can keep up with my son. Sometimes we play tag in the park now on the playground, and I'm faster than him. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to kind of dodge past him and stuff like that, and I can move again like I used to. I've never been like a really stiff big guy. I'm 6'4". I've always weighed a little bit, but I mean, for a guy my size, I've always been able to move very well. I'm very nimble, I guess you would say. I'm pretty fast for a guy my size. So, now that I am able to do some of those things again, it feels great. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not going to go too much further into it. I don't want to like make this all about me, but one day maybe I'll make a video where I talk like maybe for a half hour about it, and I kind of do my my insights on it. But it's really one of those things where I just wanted to make a change for my life for the better, and it kind of goes across all things. It makes you feel healthier. Of course, it makes you look better, but also it makes you more successful at work, because you have more motivation. It makes you better in your relationships. It makes you better, everything. I mean, you poop better, you eat better, you sleep better. You feel better when you wake up in the morning. You have more motivation to get things done, so you accomplish more in a day. And all those things kind of success begets success. So the more motivation you have to do things, the more you get accomplished. And, because of that, it kind of translates to success in other areas as well. So it's fantastic, and I feel great. And, because of that, I've been a lot more active, which has, of course, also hurt my YouTube channel because I'm out all the time now and I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm not really at home editing videos and things like that because
I'm sorry, Riemann. I got to cut you off there. You did that yourself before then with the modding.
Yeah, with the modding. Yeah.
Yeah, the modding was your downfall. Don't try to blame it on exercise and being healthy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, don't blame for you being healthy. Yeah, blame the mods.
I'm blaming my health for my mods, guys. Okay, it's my health. This has all been an explanation to explain my mods. Okay, so just so you know, I lost the weight just to explain my mods. All right, that's really what this is. It's just an excuse.
And a shitty reason it is.
But no, thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate that. And, I know a lot of you guys have been watching me for a long time, so I'm sure you guys heard me breathing on the streams, like, when I first started with this, I was really, what happened that really, lots of things happened, but one thing that happened that really made me feel like shit was, when we were at a Game Changer event in, Hollywood, right? We were going out at night one night with all the guys, me and Mobile Gamer and everybody. We were all going out to eat to get some ice cream, and I remember we were walking, and like halfway to the ice cream shop, I found out that it was like still another mile or so to get there, and like my back was hurting, and I was like out of breath, and I like told them that I had to take a break for a second because they were walking like much faster than I was, and I literally ended up just stopping and waiting there at a Subway, and I just sat in the Subway and waited for them to go get their ice cream and then come back and meet me afterwards. So I literally missed out on going out for ice cream with them because I couldn't walk. Thank you. That's Malia Bean, baby. Malia Bean. I can dodge a wrench. Yes. What's going on, buddy? Malia Bean.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, I miss you, man. You got to hit me up, man. I want to drive up there to see you, man. Now, maybe when you're maybe we'll mask it up and make out or something.
What? All right, goddamn! Every time you got to make this shit weird.
He's totally cool. Anyway, but what I'm saying is,
the rest of us, man, we're throwing up in our mouths. Stop it.
He understands. He still loves me. Anyway, I'm most likely infected. The most likely infected person. That's true.
I mean, if you can admit it, that's good. That's great.
No, I mean, Molly will tell you. I mean, I was very unhealthy. So, I mean, at that time I couldn't make it on a walk to go have some ice cream with my friends. So I couldn't even walk to get fatter at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that was like a real sucky moment. You're on vacation, you want to go have fun with your friends, and I couldn't really go with them. And I was thinking, like, how am I going to take my son to like Disneyland if I can't even walk, a mile to get some ice cream from the hotel, And then, then I went to my doctor last year. I'd already started, dieting. I didn't really do a lot of the exercise, but I already started changing my diet. Because that's how it started, really. I lost the first 50 pounds just kind of changing what I ate. And then he was like, hey, listen, you have to make some changes. He was like, when you look out there, he's like in the waiting room, he's like, how many, older, heavy set people do you see? And I was like, not any, and he's like, well, that's because, they don't make it that old. You know what I mean? They usually die of complications for some other reason before they get that old when you're heavy, and he's right. Like one of the biggest killers out there is, ice cream and cake, and not eating right, and being unhealthy physically. So I had to find a way to make some changes, and I fortunately I did, and hopefully I didn't do too much damage, and I'm able to make it a little bit longer, But at the end of the day, I am enjoying my life more now, and that's the main thing. I wanted to, be a good, dad for my son, and be able to be there to help him learn how to do some things. And I needed to also make sure that I'm here for him, in his 20s and 30s. And, the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I take better care of myself. So that's kind of where I was at. And it's pretty much my motivation. It's my kid and also for myself. You have to have motivation for yourself to accomplish these things. And that's kind of what I lost after a while, was like having, looking forward to taking vacations and finding a new woman, or finding, buying new clothes for yourself and things like that. You just stop caring about that stuff, and you care only about paying your bills and just living your life. And, fortunately I was able to get that back. And now I feel like in my mind, I feel great. Like I'm back on top of the world, and I feel fantastic, and I'm having a great time every day. So I feel good. I feel healthy, and it's fantastic. So, but thank you guys for asking. And I'm sorry that I went into a 20-minute dissertation on my health, but I feel fantastic. Shy Bear is saying he lost 400 pounds too. That's fantastic.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
That's good.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Man. Yeah, that's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, I know
how.
Well,
let's depress everybody and go look at your mods real quick, and then we'll be back to our normal viewing horror that is your roster.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Nightmare. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. But no, definitely.
Wait,
Molly, hit me up in Discord, man. I messaged you like a couple weeks ago, or like a month or two ago. Hit me up on Discord, man. I want to get together. Anyway,
weren't you gonna do Kylo or something tonight?
I'm gonna do Kylo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to speed it up,
So while I do guys, I have the last 60 I need to unlock Kylo, and we're gonna try to do that here live.
There's no way he can mess this up.
While I'm doing that, let's talk a little bit more about the raid. So what did you guys think about the? What were your guys' thoughts about? Like, I know you said it's really hard and it's really difficult, but do you think that they're going to keep it this way? Do you think they're going to make adjustments to it?
Yes.
Yeah, they have to.
Make adjustments or keep it this way?
Well,
this is here to stay.
Yeah, this is here to stay. But I mean, one of the things that I'm confused about, maybe I'm not understanding this. They said about the rewards being flat.
Yes.
Flat. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Can someone explain this to me? Like, what do you mean by flat rewards? Because they're not flat.
I think the flat applied to maybe more of the gear progression,
not the R8. Yeah.
Not the. I think there was a post about that. Kind of clearing that up. I can't pull it up.
Honestly, I can understand it if it's not like a guild event that, like the R8 the difference would be a little bit more. But you're in a guild. I mean, everybody tries to work together, and the rewards shouldn't be that much different. Honestly, I mean, there's just people who play better and do better, but there's also people who really, really try hard, do the best, and they still don't end up in number one. And still, in the number one position, if it's the same score, it's a random thing for people to be up in that first place. And that just kind of sucks for rewards for people when it's the same people that end up in the same spot. So I don't know. And I don't really care for the 20% penalty. That just makes it more poo-poo for officers and stuff to coordinate.
Yeah, for a while, because
I don't know. Like when I was growing up, right? I was a terrible swimmer, but I was on the swim team in the neighborhood, right? and our neighborhood swim team won everything, right? But I, in my trophy case, have a bunch of 6th place ribbons. You know what I mean? Like, I was just kind of hanging out, but we were winning. So, like, I mean, I guess if you're in last place, I mean, perhaps you're lucky to be there. You know what I mean? Like, perhaps if you're one of those people that really try hard but just can't get any points, maybe, I don't know. Like, I know that's harsh, but I think now in terms of difficulty of the raid, that's not changing. But I think if the reward structure upsets enough people, the rewards themselves and the tiering of it, I think that could possibly change.
Oh,
it's going to be stuff. They're not going to fix it.
They need to change those rewards. That's a lot of work to get like the shit rewards that we got. Honestly, yeah, everybody wants the R8, but we need the other stuff as well to be able to make the R8 stuff. But
I think the gear is what has been flattened out. I don't think there's much of a difference in the prize. That's my understanding from a post I read. But the relic material, most definitely. Like, if you're consistent, and it will be interesting to see if they do keep it the same. I think this will mess up guilds. Like, some of the higher end guilds will have some of their better players kind of once we get more used to the raid and people can start picking up 15% like big clips of the raid. I think we'll see like the top end guilds. Some of the guys that are getting in the 20th places, like myself, like I'm not going to move, obviously, but I will never be the top 3 of this raid.
Yeah.
I'll consistently be in the 15 to 30 range. And I think some of those guys in the top guilds might end up kind of trickling out of the top guilds and going to other guilds so they can consistently get 1 through 3, So
Right.
It'd be interesting to see. And I don't know. I think you're right. I mean, I don't know if that's a big pressing issue with the entire community. I have no idea. But that's something you could possibly bring up in the forums. Like they are actually taking feedback.
Be nice to even it out a little more towards the top and bottom. In that sense, I can understand. Maybe not have anything for people that posted like a 0, but it's a guild event. The guild should be progressing semi the same.
And they don't make any money off that.
The same.
They make the money off people trying to keep up with the guild, and then the top end players eventually outgrow the guild and move. It's just like a never ending cycle. That there's a lot of money to be made in just guild pressure, So I mean, I don't know.
Just quickly, what's the pattern here again? It's 2-1-3-1.
Yes,
that's it, right? Okay.
How have you beaten this before this?
I don't know, Loki. You guys seen any? I don't have any R8 characters.
I saved this one for the end, so I forgot.
Are you still here, Loki?
Yeah, I'm here. So I had the opportunity to do 2 raids. I came second in our first raid, and then I merked with Nightmare hooked me up with a merc and with the Shadowlands guys, and then I was 13th place. And Nightmare actually mentioned it in chat. When I came second place, obviously I got the Relic 8 stuff that I think we all want at this GP level, but my gear wasn't that great. So I got like salvage of yellow pieces, and that was it. But then when I came 13th place, I only get 5 or 8 mats or something. 5, yeah. So 5 in 13th place, but then I got like fully crafted right side pieces, right, of yellow gear. So it's I haven't seen enough screenshots, or I haven't spoken to enough people to know if they purposely did it that way, where the lower end or the people that finish at the bottom get better gear pulls than the top, right? And that would make sense, because if you're obviously at the bottom, you need the gear more than I do, right? And vice versa. So in a sense, I can see that as being a positive is, hey, I came 50th place, but I got a full crafted gear, right, piece. And I saw those screenshots, right? Like a 45th place got a fully crafted Cairo or something, right? Like, I mean, some crazy stuff. So is it consistent? I don't know. But, is the coding in the game that the higher place finishers get more Relic 8, but then crappier gear pulls? It seems like it. But I haven't seen enough data yet to really confirm it. But,
we shared screenshots of the rewards because I did 3 accounts. I came because I didn't do a whole lot of damage because I was the person on hold. I came 23rd, 28th, and 33rd. My 33rd got 3 pieces of gear, including a fully crafted one. My 23 got 2 pieces of gear of crap, just crap. The 28 got 3 pieces of gear, not a full piece. And yet the higher ups, a lot of them just got like 2 little pieces of gear, and that was it. Not any fully crafted stuff. So who knows? Yeah.
Well, there's only been one raid. Let's see how it plays out in the long term, how it plays out. And
I'm sure they'll probably adjust that a little bit, which it really needs to be just better for what they're having to put us through. I think it should be a little bit better, or more gear, useful gear, whatever the case may be. Even if they just keep the Relic 8 stuff the same, just please give us more credits, give us more give us something that makes it worthwhile for somebody to go in and say, I'd really want to, be able to get some of this gear, even if I don't always get the top R8 stuff. Make it worth our while to do it. I mean, that was kind of like hell to go through.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to the officers, man. It's the guys in Cop Patrol, it was insane because we got it really was difficult because we have a lot of players that are on different time zones. So they obviously, unfortunately, feel left out sometimes. I think right now the phase that everybody wants to get big damage on is phase 2. If you can land a good 20-30% run in phase 2, you're pretty much in the top 10 because I think phase 1 maybe you're getting 15% with a Ray team or something, and then even if you Zerg phase 4, I don't think you're going to be doing your 15%. So hey, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Gonna activate SLK for 100 credits.
There you go, man. Congratulations.
Why even charge 100 credits? I mean, just
CG take everything, brother. They take all they can get.
This is exciting. This is exciting. He is definitely like the GL that I've wanted the most. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
one down, 3 to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still think he's
the most useful, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I still think he's the best. Yeah.
Well, Loki, what do you think about? What are you thinking about in terms of what your guild might do for like the EU people? Being such disparity.
We don't know yet. We're. I'm not part of that like raid committee or the raid management, but I mean, I feel bad. I mean, it's an unnecessary burden that CG put on us because of the way they set it up. You know, that Pit Fighter 2, they didn't have to put that Pit Fighter 2, thing in there. You know, they could have come up with something else, but that buff just really screws it up. And I feel bad for the lower GP guilds, because if you mess that up, your 30% counter now drops to about 8, or 5, and your Supreme Leader Kylo Ren does 2 damage, right? It's terrible. And I've seen it, so I don't know what we're doing. I know they announced like 3 different raid launch times to try. But again, this raid, you got to coordinate the whole thing for at least 2 hours.
You're
if that.
right. I think what we're going to do, this is kind of like a thing in my guild that we're talking about, of course. We're not that would be instigated, but since I'm the guild leader, I do have the ultimate say over what's going on.
Right. She has all the power. You better recognize.
You're damn straight. But what we did was we split phase 1 and 2 one day and phase 3 and 4 the others, only because I spazzed out and I was stressing out too much and I didn't know how well we were going to do. Well, one of the options that we might do for our EU folks is to take either phase 1 and 2, maybe switch them, and phase 3 and 4, do the 2 separate days, but do them at different times. Like phase 1 and 2, which will be grouped together, maybe do it at the 8 p.m. Eastern time, and then phase 3 and 4 earlier time to be able to include the EU people, and then switch it so that the EU people can have a chance at the first 2 to be able to get some really good points. So then the rest of us can finish off 3 and 4.
It's actually a really good idea. I was thinking something similar like that, but the issue is do you have enough EU people to end the phase? So what I've noticed is there's that 20% buffer, right? So you can actually safely hit the Rancor down to 81%, or you need to hit him at 80%, right? If you're really that good and coordinated as a guild, you can take off the fat, right? You can take off that first 20% and you don't hit that damage penalty yet. So, I like your idea. I think in Paw Patrol right now, we only have maybe 3 guys in EU, right? So there's no way they can take down the entire phase.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So maybe it's something to that effect where you let them hit for. It's tough. I mean,
it's an idea, because another idea would be because we only have like 3 or 4 people that are EU, but we want to make sure that they're included in on this.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, what we might try to do is try to launch the raid towards the weekend, so it's over the weekend, because our weekend raids are earlier anyway, and this would be exactly what we've been doing all along, and it hits a perfect time for the EU people to be able to join in as well for both phases, if that's the case. But if we have to launch it in the middle of the week, then we'll kind of coordinate the time to where there's several of us that can still do the Eastern time bit, and then some of them will still do the EU time one, because they're just earlier on anyway, and we can coordinate that. So once we can do that, then I don't think it would be a problem.
Right. Yeah. I did a merc with some of the Shadowlands guys, Nightmares in the chat, but it was actually a lot easier to do the merc because we're all there ready to go, right? So you just have to jump your guild, set aside 2 hours. And Darth Evil, hats off to her for coordinating the entire thing. And she was basically, okay, we have an hour to attack this. Let's all get 20% and then call out your score, and then we'll drop it, right? And she was coordinating the entire thing. And everybody was like, okay, I can only get 3%. Okay, let's get 10 people doing 3%. Okay, then you can do 20, you can do 20, you can do 15. And she did the entire thing that way, and it just magically worked out. We had a couple of, if you're going to mess up, you mess up in the beginning of each phase, right? So you can you have that 20% buffer. But people really have to pay attention, make sure you're on airplane mode and all that, and then it magically works.
We had a couple of boo-boos and thinking, oh crap, we're not in airplane mode, or it didn't apply in airplane mode, but it wasn't critical. We never hit down to that 20%. What we did was one of the guys did a nice little spreadsheet so that anybody who called out in chat said, okay, in phase 1 and 2, like 8%, 15%, 10%, or whatever. We wrote their name down in percentage, and it automatically added up to 100% at the bottom. And as soon as we hit that, then everybody else held, and we go, okay, we tagged so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, do your damage. We just kept track of how much damage was being done, and everybody else backed out after that. Only because, this time we didn't know how the mechanics were going to work on us. So we made sure that anybody was over 100% backed out, so we can make sure to have all the teams necessary for the next phases. And it seemed to work out a lot easier than I thought anyway, so I didn't have to stress as much as I did.
Right. Yeah.
But that fourth phase, we were like doing 3% basically. And it's like, oh, and I didn't think we had enough people but then again, there were people who couldn't talk on Discord, but they were holding. So it was like, okay, everybody start dropping. And we're like 50%, 40%, 30%, 11%, 8%. 5%. We're like, oh, yes. We didn't have to stop and do the little piddly damage at the end. And we were so happy about that.
Right.
All right.
So I unlocked Kylo. Yes.
Yes,
very excited.
I know.
Yeah, and now
enjoy the gear.
Now, I'm at gear 9. Just curious, right? If I were to buy the now, would that get him to gear 13?
And he dropped, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped because he's not talking.
You guys can't hear me?
Yeah. Now we can hear you. Yeah.
I guess the stream dropped for a second. If I was to buy the hyperdrive bundle, would that get me from gear 9 to gear 13?
No, you silly person. It'll get you close. It'll help, but
it'll help.
If you just the power techs alone are going to be.
I didn't hoard enough. Darth Revan, I had to spend everything I had to get this far. I mean, this was this was a culmination of
no, it will not.
Relicking lots of guys.
Hyperdrive is good to have anyway.
It is good, yes.
It's excellent to have.
We always recommend that, but yeah.
How do I mod him right now, being that he's not he's not really ready to be in a lineup yet? But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, where should I start if I'm modding SLK?
Are we really talking mods here?
It hasn't changed, brother. Fast and fast done.
Just
health primaries.
Speed and health. Okay, I got it.
I went offense and health, and you want to get him above 500 speed. I mean, with your mods. So I think mine's at 510, and then you want to get his damage as high as possible. So
okay. All right.
Go like 10,000 physical damage, put a crit damage triangle on him, and get him to 550 speed, and you're good.
Cool.
You can solo the raid. You can do all the PvE stuff.
I think mine's 11,500 damage on mine or something. I went a little bit more. I went more damage.
Just to go back to the chat here to catch up with Maddie Chevelle said, bro, it shows the work you've done. Thank you. Ray Rock said this is Ramon with his ultimate ability. Yes, thank you very much. And then we got. I want to say what's up to Darth Revan, Jedi Training Bogus. What's going on? Nightmare. What's up? How are you? And Kaya, what's up in the chat? Also, Koosman, what's going on? Lord Megatron, how are you? Thank you very much. JVU, how are you? But yeah, so I'm really glad I was able to.
Awkward silence.
Awkward.
You guys couldn't hear me?
Sweet.
Again, it dropped?
Yep.
Oh, it happened. Yep. It happened again. Okay. Yeah, no, I was actually saying hi to a bunch of people in the chat, so that's where that happened. But okay. Anyway,
well, we got most of that. Yeah.
I said what's up to you guys in the chat. So if you didn't hear your name, it's because something got cut off. So I apologize. But I hope everybody's doing okay. Yeah. So I'm really happy to get Supreme Leader Kylo. I'm obviously still not done with this journey with him. There's still more work to do here to get him to Relic 7.
Oh no. You got to get into Relic 7. Yeah.
But I'm glad to be able to use him now. I mean, honestly, he's probably the coolest looking of all those characters. I think he's got the most viability too of all the GLs right now. So that's pretty cool. But before we get into the Q&A segment, I know there's a few questions that you guys have asked. We'll get there in just a moment. Just quickly want to touch on your thoughts on what we have coming up. So the season finale for Mando season 2 is next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are your guys' thoughts about season 2 so far, going up to episode 7 now?
Goddamn incredible.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
Loki, what are your thoughts? I mean, I know that you wanted to discuss it a little bit. I mean, what do you think? What do you think about Ahsoka? We didn't get your opinion on that last time. We talked about
I love her, man. I mean, I'm a big Rosario Dawson fan, man. I crushed on her on Kids, and it just, yeah, she's an amazing actress, and I think they nailed it. Going back to that stream, I think Abby said that
she's in Kids.
She is in Kids, man.
She is?
Yeah.
Oh man, bro.
With Chloe. Yeah, with Chloe.
Oh, that's crazy, dude. I didn't know she was in Kids. That's a great movie, by the way. Probably a lot of people don't know that movie. A lot of people don't know that movie, but that's an awesome movie.
I got a crush on her, man. You really want to nitpick? I know you guys mentioned that the headdress during the last stream. And yeah, I mean, maybe her headdress wasn't big enough or long enough down her back, but they nailed the character, man. All the little, from her eyes rolling, from her, basically crossing her arms and the way her lips puckered. And it was exactly like the cartoon. Very Ahsoka. Super excited for the announcement on the spinoff series. So, it's crazy, man. They've pretty much, this season 2 has pretty much, solidified the next 5 to 10 years of Star Wars spin-offs and movies and whatever they can do, man. It's crazy.
So stoked about it. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's I feel like it has been a fantastic year for Star Wars. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of just makes me more motivated for everything that's coming up. And they just made an announcement the other day, we'll get into in a second, but my thoughts, I agree with you. I think she did a great job. Anybody who knows me from my old days in Discord knows that my avatar was always a picture of Ahsoka. Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars chick out there, period. So I've always had a thing for Ahsoka, and I think Rosario Dawson is a perfect adult Ahsoka, and I think that it worked out fantastic. I think that Dave Filoni did a great job bringing Ahsoka into the real life, and I think that when they do the Ahsoka series, it's going to be fantastic. So I mean, it was like almost like an audition for the Ahsoka series. I'm sure they already had that planned, but I mean, just fantastic news that came about that, and I'm really loving the development of Grogu and what's going on with the Mando and Grogu. I think that relationship and the way they've built this show to be sort of like a sitcom, and it really just works. And they've found ways to they found ways to bring all the things that we love about Star Wars and kind of the underground parts of Star Wars and make the show around that. I mean, if you asked me 3 years ago if they could make a show about Star Wars that has nothing to do with Sith or Jedi, and would it be entertaining to me, I would have said no. But honestly, now, yes, and they don't even have to bring in Ezra Bridger or any of these other things. We don't have to go there. I mean, it can literally just be, they could tease things, but still just keep it really based about, the relationship between the Mando and Grogu, and maybe his rise in the Mandalorian community or whatever. They can just keep it a grounded show about their relationship and their adventures, and I would be totally into that. You know what I'm saying? As long as they keep the authenticity of the show going the way they're doing it, I think it's fantastic. So,
Gob, did you watch this last episode? Gom?
Sorry, I was coughing. I was sorry. I had it muted. Yeah, yes, I did.
Now, what did you think of this episode?
Spoilers.
Well, without discussing anything about it, I will say from a standalone sort of episode, I think it's by far the most entertaining. I think that was like, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
In terms of just like action packed, I think this one was my favorite of the second series or the second season. It doesn't have as much as maybe the Star Wars oohs and ahs as some of the others do, but I think this one was the most entertaining.
Did you catch the Office Space reference?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah.
Don't say anything.
I mean, just to put like a one example out there. Okay, just that episode when they were like using. I think I mentioned this on the last episode, the last show we had. That episode, that part where they take the speeders and the speed bikes and they're literally just like hovering down the rocks like on the mountain is like such a cool I mean, like, you just wouldn't even think of that. And the fact that they're like sitting there like, like thinking of all these different ways to apply things that we already know about Star Wars, but into like stuff that we've never seen it done like that before. Like, what I mean? Like, it's cool. I mean, watching that lightsaber fighting with Ahsoka was so freaking cool. I mean, because he was doing things that you would see Ahsoka do on the show in like, let's say an episode of Rebels or Clone Wars, but they don't really fight like that with lightsabers in the movies. I mean, like, you see the things that Ahsoka did in that one episode of The Mandalorian were already way cooler than what I saw with Kylo versus Rey in all three movies.
I'll kill you.
I'll kill you for that one. But it's true. Yeah, it's true. I mean, like, just the way they were fighting. I mean, like, you could tell this guy knows what a lightsaber fight looks like, and he knows what excites people. And that's what really is great about this show is that, it seems like Favreau and Filoni really know, like, what we're looking for, and we're not looking for them to reinvent the wheel. We're looking for them to find new and interesting ways to give us more of the same. And that's ultimately what it is, what I'm saying? And we're not looking for, like, something different. We still want it to be Star Wars, So, and then there is the opportunity for them to create new content that has nothing to do with the original saga that can be something else, I'm saying? That can just be a totally different thing. And we could also revisit some origin stories, or create new origin stories. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit also about the announcement they made the other day. So there's a whole ton of Star Wars content coming to Disney Plus. So they obviously we already knew about the Cassian show. We knew about we know that Ahsoka's coming, or we've heard rumors about Ahsoka's coming. They confirmed that. We knew that the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is coming. But now we also know that Hayden Christensen is actually coming back to reprise his role as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Very excited about that. Very excited.
Very cool.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I heard like an idea the other day about maybe they do like flashback scenes where like Anakin and Obi-Wan, because they could totally de-age them and make them look like themselves from when they were Jedi. And they could do like some stuff where you see scenes of Anakin from like the Clone Wars in a movie or in the show, like in live action, where they have like flashback scenes from when they were still Jedi.
Oh, that's genius, man. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I mean, they've been bringing all the cartoon characters to the live screen, and for them to take cartoon Anakin, right? Like Gas, right? The one, you never got to see Gas in the movies. And to make him real, damn, I didn't think about that. That'd be brilliant.
That'd be great. It'd be great. We get to see like
Anakin
we also got like a full-fledged Jedi. Yeah.
Well, we get Bad Batch coming. I'm really excited for that because the way I'm interested in what the Bad Batch is going to get up to because they don't have those inhibitor chips, and that they're independent thinkers. So, and they did show that one scene where Palpatine announces the new Galactic Empire, and they're going, "Oh yeah, is that what you're going to do?"
I'm really curious how they're going to do it, right? Like, I mean, like what are they going to? Because I mean, like, it's after, obviously after what we saw in season 7 of, it's basically season 8 of the Clone Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But after Order 66. So I don't know what they're going to do. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's just going to be really fun to wait and see what happens and then just get all giddy over all the new stuff coming out.
That's cool. And then they also announced a Rogue Squadron Disney Plus movie directed by the same person who directed what other movie? I forgot what she did. She did
Patty Jenkins.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Wonder Woman.
No, she's a Wonder Woman director, yeah, and she did a great job with Wonder Woman. So
yeah, I heard Wonder Woman 1984 is pretty dope so far.
And she's saying that it's going to be the best fighter pilot movie ever, basically. So I mean, I
trust her, man. That shit she did with Wonder Woman in that trench scene in World War One and that whole fight, I was like, God damn, she needs to be doing more shit. I was like, oh my god, how good was that shit?
And they have good source material to work from there. Rogue Squadron is a great game. You know what I mean? So
it's based off the books before it was a game.
Yeah.
So I love those books. I've got them, and they're fantastic.
Yeah. So there's a lot of source material to work from there. You wonder if Natalie Portman will come back as Padme. I don't think so, man. I think Natalie Portman's done with Solo.
You're breaking my heart.
Anakin, you're breaking my heart. I can't. You're going down a path that I cannot follow.
You got it,
Oh my God.
That's just it. It was spot on. That's the problem.
Correct.
Anyway,
let's get out of here so God can go to bed.
But I mean, there was a lot of cool. There's even more things that they announced. They announced they're doing a Lando show as well. Lando Calrissian, possibly with Donald Glover again as Lando. They're also doing another show that they didn't really. I forgot the name of it, but they're doing another show that seems like it may be tied to the High Republic era, the new era that they're going to be writing about in these books coming up here soon. So I'm sure that and some people are speculating that may tie into maybe Darth Plagueis, because that's kind of like in the timeline where he was running the Sith. So there's some possibilities there. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, but should be interesting. I mean, really, really exciting stuff that they announced, all this upcoming Star Wars content, and just based on what they're doing with Kevin Feige and Marvel, and it seems like they're kind of trending that way with Filoni and Star Wars. And if they keep allowing Filoni to make the Bad Batch and let him make the Ahsoka show, I can only imagine that these things are going to be freaking phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for the Ahsoka show, because I think the Ahsoka show is going to be a live action sequel to Rebels. Okay, and we're going to find out what happens finally with Thrawn and Ezra and Sabine in live action. And if that actually happens, I may actually defecate live stream with you guys right on the stream. Okay, just so you guys can see. Yes.
Just live.
Yes.
Live.
I may do it live. Okay. I may literally crap my pants live. Okay. So
one of those powerful less than 1,500 calories a day poops.
Yes, one of those powerful less than 1,500 calories a day poops.
There we go.
No, but honestly,
okay.
It's a really cool thought to think that could be where they go. They could also go KOTOR. Yes, I mean obviously I think that would be better saved for a high budget movie, trilogy or something like that. But if they decide to go with Disney Plus, they could do that. But I think that they should pick the right director, somebody who like Filoni or somebody like that, and do KOTOR, or maybe not do KOTOR, but do the origin story of the Sith and the Jedi at some point, in whatever way they decide that to be the way. I'm sure I trust him to do what he thinks would be right, and I think he would do the right thing by it. So anyway, we're running a little bit late here. I know that some of these fine folks have to get back to work and live their lives tomorrow, so we're going to wrap up soon. But before we do, I know there were a few questions. If you guys have any other topics you'd like to discuss or questions you'd like to ask, type them into the chat real quick here. Not going to take too many, but we're just going to ask the few questions that we do have. Do you have any stored up, Maurice, already?
Yeah, we got a couple of Ahsoka. She asked this to me, but we can do a round table. Who will you take to relegate first? What if you could do two? Who would be your first two?
TBD.
I already did mine. So I did GK and I did Jedi Knight Anakin.
I have no idea. I have no idea who I would take to I can do one, but I don't know. I have no idea who. I'm just going to hold on to it until I see what other people are doing and just kind of go with a general consensus, I think.
My first one will either be a fleet captain, GK or Grievous, or it's going to be probably Rey. Rey, because she seems to be the one, the counters for her are the flimsiest. So I feel like if you add that extra relic level to her, maybe it will kind of stifle some of the Vaders and Piets and all these other crazy teams going around. It will be weeks before, I say weeks, but it will be a while. So I'll get to see like fine players like Loki here, feedback from everybody, because everyone's going to pick, a different route. I do like the ship route. I think that's perhaps more advantageous for TW and Grand Arena than a GL would be.
Because I don't have some of the nice shiny toys that some of these people on the panel here have, I probably would just go with Supreme Leader Kylo.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people have done Sith Eternal Emperor, and I don't know, to try to get his damage up, or maybe to make him a little more viable than what he is, because it seems like he's probably like the weakest of the four at this time. So I don't know whether they're just pumping him up or whatever, but that's not one I'm going to pick right off the bat. So definitely.
I don't know, man. Sith Eternal is getting me holds in GAC, so I'm not complaining about him. I think he's awesome.
I just got him today. I think
he is incredible, man.
Loki, let me ask, because I didn't get to ask you. We've discussed this before, but I never gotten to ask you. Who do you think, and besides Rey and what do you think is the order of the best Galactic Legends so far? Like from best to worst.
So in my opinion, it's going to be Kylo's first. Rey is going to be second. I mean, she's a pain in the ass to fight against. She's a boring tune is what it is. If that makes sense. Like, she is, the battles with her are long. They're boring, but she's very hard to beat on defense still. Very, clean. The third would be Sith Eternal, and I think the worst is Jedi Master Luke, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
One of these days, I'd like to discuss that with you as to why. So.
Yeah, Jedi Master Luke is horrible. He's terrible.
We should talk about that again on this show.
Yeah.
We should definitely. We haven't done a top 5 overall characters since, I think, Galactic Legend, so we should do that actually pretty soon. I think number 5 would be bad. I think number 5 would be Jedi.
To talk about it.
I think number 5 would be Jedi Luke, to be honest with you. But
actually, I put Jedi Luke over Jedi Master Luke and Palpatine myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think Jedi Knight Luke is better than?
He's a hard counter to. He's a hard counter to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Kicks his ass like it's no business. Loki can back me up on that one.
Okay, that's interesting.
Ultimately, I mean, it really depends on which mods you have. Like, what mods do you specialize? Like, everyone's kind of got kind of tendencies with mods. And I think how you farm mods and what mods you currently have with the secondary stuff kind of dictates which GL you think is the best. Like, I mean, if you have a lot of offense and sort of real hard-hitting offense-oriented ones, you're definitely going to like Kylo. If you have a lot of super health-oriented, like, let's say you love Vandor, Chewbacca, and some of these other characters just take tons and tons of health, you're all set up for Rey. I just got Emperor tonight, so I'm not going to claim I know what to do with him, but Luke's kind of a hybrid, kind of more protection-oriented if you want to run his lead. I think Luke is good. I don't know. It's definitely Kylo 1, and then I think Luke is 2A, A being offense, and Rey is 2B, defense. Like, I think they're kind of tied for me, and I just don't know about Emperor. The Emperor scares me the least out of the 4 on defense.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's where, I mean, I'm not going to, we can save this for another stream, but I think that's where, at least in my bracket in GAC, I think people take that for granted. They see, Sith Eternal, they're like, oh, this guy sucks. And then they go in and they can't one-shot him. So what does that tell you? So what does that tell you? We did a GAC stream yesterday. Jedi Master Luke, with all the badass Jedi behind him, will be taken out by Darth Revan, Basti, and Watt. That is horrible. Like, it's just terrible.
Well, Kylo Ren's going to solo Palpatine, so what's your point, man?
But you're beating a GL without a GL. We beat 2 GLs yesterday on that stream with no GLs.
Right.
So that's a big deal, right?
I think the debate,
I've never even considered putting Luke on defense in 5 vs 5.
Yeah,
Luke
It
is
hasn't even
horrible,
crossed my
man.
mind.
He is terrible on defense.
He's bad defensively.
Yeah, and here's my other thing. No, here's my other thing. I'll pass it off to you, Ranger. Is the guy never hits his ultimate? That's the problem.
Yeah.
You put the ultimate on him, and if you do not run him as a leader, you will never hit ultimate.
Yeah.
Sith Eternal hits ultimate fairly quickly, and once he does, he takes out your Vader counter. He takes out your non-GL counter. If you put Malik with Sith Eternal, you cannot trooper him. You just can't. You cannot trooper Sith Eternal if he has Malik. One tune, okay, can shut down that entire counter. So the problem with Jedi Master Luke, again, if you run him as lead, I don't care if you have Gas, Jedi Knight Luke, Hermit Yoda, Jedi Knight Revan, you will lose to 3v5 with Watt, Darth Revan, and Basti. That's it. And Darkside Bastila. That's it. And that's the reason why I rank him so low. You have to play him to get to ultimate. That's the problem. The AI just won't do it.
The AI
and
is
it's sad.
stupid to fall from it. And the problem is with both these new Galactic Legends is I think Palpatine is a better offensive character if you have his ultimate. You have to have his ultimate. So if you're going to do ultimates, Master Luke is the last one. But that being said, I think they both suck on defense horribly. There's just a lot of stuff out there that just takes them out. And you're having to mix and match stuff to make them better, right? So, it's Kyle and Ray, 1, 2, and then you can debate which one you think is worse, 3 or 4, because you can make arguments on both sides. I don't think it matters. They both need some love and they both need some work because I'm not impressed with either of them, to be honest. Offense, I give a slight edge to Palpatine, but on defense, and then on offense, Luke is a monster too. But that's because you're controlling it. But
Loki makes a pretty compelling argument, though. I'll tell you that.
That's Which reminds me, I need to do my GAC. I almost forgot I have to hit. So
I don't think as many people are experienced with both using Emperor and putting him on defense. Like everyone had, like the veteran players, most of us had Luke pretty much ready out of the gate. Like we might have had to relic a few characters, maybe gear 2 or 3 of them, but for the most part, if you got Jedi Knight Luke, Jedi Master Luke was kind of a gift. Kind of here, this guy's easy to get for you guys. I think all of us rushed out of the gate and we're more experienced with Luke now and Palpatine. I'm interested to see. I'm gonna keep him at 3 Zetas for this Grand Arena because I don't want to completely handicap myself with a character I don't know how to use. But I'm gonna keep him at 3. I have all 6. This way, he's not even in my top couple rows of characters with 3 Zetas. So like I can kind of get used to him and figure out where best to place him without wrecking my GP.
I used him in some of the events and stuff just to kind of play around with it. But I have absolutely no Zetas for him right now, and I'm still working on his ultimate. So right now he's just completely useless for me. But I do have all the Zetas saved for on my other account, which I'm working on JML and C at the same time. So to get those, so that'll be.
You know what makes it great is that we're actually able to have this conversation. Like, a year ago or year and a half ago, it was either Darth Revan or bust, right? And now, like, you have these.
Dude, Darth Revan is so good still, though, man. Holy crap!
Yeah, he's
he is amazing, man.
Classic. They're classic.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is now you have options, and it's like, it's really is up to interpretation, and it depends a lot on. Besides having the Galactic Legend, do you have the ultimate? Do you have the pieces around the character to make him good? Do you have the mods? There's a lot of components to really factor into, what kind of performance you're going to get from the character. So I think that makes it all the more interesting and really kind of puts the game in a place where it should be, where it's like, I guess when they created mods and they created all these other components, that it really puts, like no 2 Kylos are exactly the same. They're all a little different, and that's kind of the point of why they added all these customization options. So like now, you may have the character, but you may not be as far along as, let's say, your opponent is. And that is going to give him the upper hand, even if you may have better mods than that person, So it's there's a lot of stuff there to pack in. It's not just a simple decision sometimes of which one is better. It's a lot more like it's kind of situational, and that makes for interesting, theory crafting and things like that.
Yeah, it's how you play the character. How do you want to play the character is different for everyone.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's get another question in.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
Let's do
Well, it says Avinash got Remon, and this is obviously for Loki too. What should be done with the 180 to 200 mil guilds that blatantly use an APK to solo the raid? I will say that I would be I haven't seen screenshots, but I would be very hesitant to accuse people of doing that. Like, if you know the team, it's very achievable, I think, if everyone's coordinated. And like Loki mentioned earlier, he moved over and merked. So, I mean, there could have been a case of maybe a guild's almost there on the fringe at 100, 200 million, and maybe they got help from 5, 10, friends from another guild. They came over and helped them get it done. Like, it's, unless you've seen screenshots of somebody putting up like 40 million damage or some shit like that. Like, I would be, I don't think you can.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Loki showed me a screenshot of him getting 8, 9 million, in one run. So, I mean, it's if you're coordinated, you discussed it with your guild, everybody knows the team, you have those characters. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for a guild like that. If you have the characters, I mean, these characters are pretty common characters to have. So
yeah, our merc we did last night, we did it with 24 people. So it's getting there where you can probably cut down to like 20. As long as you're all there and you have the right teams. I mean, there's some killer teams already that we all found out. I mean, that SLKR one, the one I sent you, I got guildmates doing like 35% with it already. So we figured that one out for.
But they're saying it was a screenshot of a raid solo. Yeah, that's probably gonna be an APK. Yeah, that's gonna.
Yeah. I think there was one where the guy had 144 million already, right?
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Right.
But
Yeah,
that's physically
obvious. Well, in that sense, you basically down the individual, don't necessarily down the guild, because the guild may be unaware of really what's going on, and may not approve or horrified that it happened. So, who knows?
I agree with Abby.
Yeah.
I think you have to go after the individual, not the guild. And I think that, honestly, I think that they need to be more strict sometimes with some of these things that they do, so that I think that sometimes it takes just one heavy penalty to kind of set the tone for other people to not do things like that. I think what happens is that very often people just get a slap on the wrist, and then when future things happen where people can cheat, they think it's okay because they're going to, maybe be suspended for a little bit or something, but the penalties aren't really severe. If you took one person's account away and said, hey, listen, not going to play anymore, and they lost however many, like months or years that they have been playing in the game, I'm not saying that would... Listen, I don't want anybody to lose their account, but what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, if you're severe about the punishment one time and you actually follow through, then other people will be like, listen, I'm not taking a chance. I've spent thousands of dollars on this account. I'm not going to take a risk of losing this because of a thing. The reason that cheating has kind of continued to go on since tournaments back in the day is because there's never any real heavy punishment. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, you get suspended. I think the worst that they do is suspend you for a month, right? And then you get your account back.
Sometimes, 3 months basically is what they'll suspend you for. But there's no real heavy penalty for it. They tell people that they're going to ban their accounts permanently, but it ends up being like a 3-month suspension and they're back.
Yeah.
So, it's like follow through on what you say.
It just takes one example.
But I wouldn't blame an entire guild for one person's action. That's.
Well, my take on it was, if the guild sees it and they report it, then no action should be taken to the guild. Unfortunately, though, because cheating was involved, I think everybody has to lose the rewards. But other than the person being banned permanently, no one of the other guilds should suffer any other penalties, right? You take the rewards from that one person. However, if the guild knows about it and they don't say anything, sorry, you get your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like a catch-22 type of a thing. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, but at the same time, I mean, I can see when somebody posts a score like that, that it's like, oh my God, I'm horrified that this happened.
Imagine they just dialed back your account and just gave you like 1 7-star mob enforcer, and that's it.
So, but, don't jump to the assumption that a guild is definitely involved. Always follow through on investigating it. Just don't make assumptions quite yet about it. So,
no.
What did they do in the past?
Nothing.
They haven't done anything,
very
right?
inconsistent what they've done. They've dialed accounts back. They've taken stuff out of people's accounts. They've banned them for a week. They've congratulated that. Remember the players that unlocked like Han Solo first was like blatantly something fishy going on. They just gave him a public congratulations.
And they still do it. They still
is Lucifer's daddy still the guy? Is it still Lucifer's daddy?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But yeah, like that, and then they still have it as a congratulations years later for that, because they just never eliminated it. So
Interesting.
But they'll do things like reset your Treya. They'll reset other things. They'll take all the gear and mods off of those tunes that they decide to reset. So if you have God mods on some of these tunes and stuff, it's gone.
I think that people should be given a chance to be forgiven, Ray Rock. I do think that like certain people should be given a second chance, but I think if you have repeat offenders of cheating, I mean, whether it's two different things or whatever, then I do agree. I think if you have somebody that like cheated a while ago and then now they're getting caught cheating for something else, just reset their entire account. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you've been caught cheating multiple times, then then you've dipped your hand in the cookie jar twice. Now you deserve a ban. You know what I'm saying? But if it's if you make a mistake, people make mistakes. Sometimes they're tempted by other people to do something. They're peer pressured into doing soming. Sometimes they do something. Both. That
APK hacking is not. It's not that search. We're not talking about.
APKs are something that are definitely done on purpose.
No, I'm not saying that's done by accident. I'm not saying it's done by accident, but what I'm saying is that if you're in a guild where somebody pressured you into doing this and saying like, listen, if you don't do this, you're not a part of our team.
Then leave the team, man. I mean, I don't have to.
You're playing with some of these.
I don't give a shit.
Some of them are 15 years old. I mean, they don't.
I don't care. Well, then, I mean, they're gonna have to learn the lesson, man. You
just gave us like Mark McGuire's biographies. Yeah. What you were just doing there.
I'm not here to talk about stats. I just want to talk about.
Was doing it. He said I'd be on the team, so just stabbed me in the ass.
I'm a believer in you give people a second chance, but I think that's
I'm okay with
one
that
chance
too,
and you're one chance and you're done.
Well, I will say that I have given a couple people a second chance, and they have been more than grateful for it and have never had a problem since. But sometimes I just know who to give that second chance to, or who it's just I just know. I can't even describe it, but yeah.
Well, see, the thing is that you have to be consistent with it. I mean,
yes.
I'm sorry. I have no forgiveness for people that do APK stuff. I just don't. I don't care what the circumstances. If you were caught cheating and you're doing shit like that, bye. You knew when you did it, it was wrong. You knew that it was inconsistent with the rules, and you knew that you were getting advantage and taking advantage of stuff and all those other things. I mean, I don't have any, it pisses me off because there's people in the game that are really good that do it the right way, and people that spend real money in this game that do it the right way and don't do this shit.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I got no forgiveness for you whatsoever. Perma ban their ass, and they've learned a valuable lesson. Don't be fucking around and cheating.
I can't argue with you. I mean, you're right. There are people that deserve that, and that type of cheating is really egregious, right? It's not like somebody who accidentally got like double rewards and didn't report.
Yeah, that's
it
different.
You know what I mean? That's not
Yeah.
like, you know,
when it's blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
For example, if you supposedly soloed the entire Rancor raid, got the top score, everybody in your guild got like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and you've got all that's done on purpose and maliciously.
All right, we got to wrap up here. Maurice, do we have any more questions?
The standard thing questions. When's Ranger going to remod Ramon?
We talked about this before. He knows better.
Yeah. No.
Some other stuff. Do you think Luke will answer Baby Yoda's call? I guess we can answer that maybe when we.
We'll get to that next week.
Do the Mando show.
We're gonna do like a Mando, like overall, like spoiler filled, like just rehash on the review of the entire season. So we'll probably do that next week after the episode because I'm gonna be super hyped up about that episode when it airs.
This is going to be the Christmas episode coming up.
It's gonna be the Christmas
episode.
It's the
last one before Christmas.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a Mando filled spoiler filled show next week. Loki, you gonna come back for that
one? Sure, man. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Let's start early so we can really get a lot a lot of stuff in.
Yeah, and Gom's not gonna be a zombie.
I won't have my son.
Yeah,
man. I'm sorry. I'm wearing down here. I'm trying.
No. I appreciate you guys staying late, and I appreciate you guys hanging out. Honestly, like next week we'll start earlier because I'm not gonna have my son, so we could totally start at like 10. And we can do like a full spoiler episode about Mando next week, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Talk about all kinds of stuff, all kinds of Christmassy things, and just have fun.
Talk about our expectations for season 3 and what we thought about season 2, and we'll go into it. I'm sure there's going to be some crazy cliffhanger at the end of the next episode, so we'll see what happens there. And we'll go from there. But I appreciate everybody coming out. So before we wrap up here, let's go around the corn. What's going on with Reality Skewed Gamers this week?
Well, we plan on stealing Loki's harem this week and not telling him where we put it. That's just typical stuff. I mean, tomorrow I'll be busy. We spent today working on. I did a Sunday stream special and then rated Gom, Mr. Gomlin Penis himself. So we said defense. We worked on fixing Grande's account, so we got that done. And then so tomorrow will be GAC. It'll be mine. Loki, are you coming on tomorrow for your GAC?
Yeah, I'm gonna do mine.
Okay, so at lunchtime it'll be me, Loki, and then we'll try to continue to help and fix Grande's shit. Oh God! And then we'll do the lunch stream during the week. We have the Wednesday night show. Saturday be the Jedi Academy. We're also doing D&D. We had another D&D stream, and then we have lots of other games on Twitch and other stuff that you can check out.
And what about you guys this week, Maurice? What are you guys doing on Operation Metaverse this week?
Stream on YouTube Thursdays, 10:30. I've been streaming on Twitch Monday night, Wednesday night for sure, and then kind of sporadically through the weekend. No set times for the weekend stuff, just whenever I can. So, yeah, you guys have been awesome. Thank you for coming out and supporting us there. Thumbs up.
Awesome. And anything going on with Boba's this week? You guys doing something tomorrow?
Yep. We've got our podcast going, the roundtable going on tomorrow night. Last week I ended up falling asleep in the middle of it, and so everybody kind of heard me snoring.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We're definitely cutting a snippet out of that and putting that on next week's stream.
That was embarrassing. I have not heard it, so I don't know if they cut it or not. But I was so tired. I just leaned my head back with the headphones on, and yeah, I was exhausted, but that was kind of fun and apparently very amusing to everybody else.
I've fallen asleep. I've fallen asleep in Discord, like in a full chat. I've never fallen asleep live on a stream though. That's
totally embarrassing, and yeah.
It happens. Listen, it's okay. It would be much more embarrassing if you were me. You know what I'm saying? Like if it, because you're a lovely lady, it's acceptable. If it was me that fell asleep, it would have been like, It was more heavy. It was more heavy breathing on my end of it, but it was they thought it was rather amusing. And Loki, obviously Loki's a member of the Reality Skewed Gamers stream on Wednesday nights with Ranger Infinity. But where can people find you?
RSG.
What is that? It's with us, you psycho.
I was like, wait a minute.
What happened? What happened? What did I do wrong?
Stop it! He's with me. We just said, look.
Yeah, no, I heard, I know that, but I mean, like, you know, I know that he also, uh-oh.
We're good.
We're getting giddy, man. I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying to be rude.
God.
No. I heard that, but I also know that you know, Loki does periodically, or at least I thought that Loki periodically created his own content. So I just wanted to see if.
No, I used to. No, you're correct. No, but I've just been I've been doing the RSG thing, so it's been good.
Yeah, I know he had a
Yeah,
channel.
we'll do our GSC tomorrow.
Sure.
I'm so happy.
All right, so I you know, we'll be back next week with a you know, show about the Mando, and we'll discuss you know, all that. And I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It was a great show. I had a lot of fun. This was really awesome. I'm glad I got Supreme Leader Kylo. Hopefully next week I'll be a little bit more further along with him. You know, see where I'm at there, but. Yeah, Thane, I did not catch the game tonight. I watched the Giants game earlier, and I threw up in my mouth, and I literally don't want to think about football for at least another 7 days. Okay, so we'll talk about it next week when the Giants are back in first place. Until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their week. Again, thank you guys so much for contributing tonight. It was great in the chat. It was a lot of fun. But may the force be with you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much for everything.